Save $2 on imported red potatoes, $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Fresh certified Angus beef, top sirloin steak, $8.99 per pound. Kraft American cheese singles, $3.99 for an 8-ounce package. Post Great Grain cereal, $6.59 for a 16-ounce. Select varieties. Cool treat. Save $2.06 on Magnum ice cream bars, $5.29 for a 3-pack. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Wednesday, September 12th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. There's been yet another false start to the implementation of roadside sobriety testing. Checkpoints were due to be set up this weekend, but due to faulty wording on the mandatory advisory, they've now been cancelled. However, it appears it's only a matter of time before the initiative gets underway, as the equipment needed is on island. Gary Moreno got a first-hand look at it today.
Blame this latest delay on the incorrect drafting of the most recent advisory, which was created by the Bermuda Police Service using a template. Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police Martin Weeks explains the BPS is working to ensure it gets everything right before setting up the much-talked-about checkpoints.
What we want to make sure is when we get to court that no one can challenge it and saying none of this counts because the notice wasn't drafted properly. So we've got the drafters at the Parliamentary Draftsman's Aid, part of the Attorney Generals will actually write it for us to make sure that we get it right, and that's where we'll be next weekend.
And while it is important to have the legal aspects sorted out, the Acting Deputy Commissioner makes it clear this is not about bringing people before the courts and locking them up.
In fact, if we don't lock up anybody on this, that will be a victory for us, because it's all about changing the culture, it's about reducing harm, it's about stopping people from killing themselves on the roads. And this is a big factor. So if we can reduce the drinking and driving, we can change that culture, we can reduce harm, we can reduce damage, we can reduce insurance costs. This is a win-win for everybody.
Rest assured, though, that does not mean the BPS intends to tread softly with the new plan. And for those of you who see the published advisory and think you can avoid being caught, guess again.
You'll see when the notice comes out, you'll see the notice that was in the paper, that it said Devonshire and Paget. So you can imagine that we're going to be doing it down at Crow Lane, we're going to be doing it out here on Middle Road, Devonshire, and we'll only do them for about 20 minutes at a time, and then we're going to move. So people are saying, oh, well, I'll just drive around it because I know it's going to be in Devonshire and Paget. Okay, so you live in Somerset and you think you can get to Warwick without going through Paget because it won't just be in one place.
Then there's this.
Unlike now where you could just drive along, as long as you're not driving all over the road or you don't get in an accident, chances are we might not stop you. Now, every car coming through is going to get a cursory check. You're going to have to wind your window down. And if we smell alcohol, if we see bloodshot eyes and slurred speech, all of those things, we're going to have that reasonable and probable grounds to suspect that you've got excess alcohol. We're going to be putting the new piece of kit in your mouth.
And this is what the new kit looks like. Acting Chief Inspector Robert Cardwell of the Roads Policing Unit showed us exactly how it works.
So you'll blow into it, you'll hear a beeping noise, you just blow into it for 10 seconds. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Cool. So it's now analyzing, it tells me you're at 0.
There are already measures in place for dealing with individuals suspected of operating a vehicle whilst under the influence of prescribed or illegal drugs. And those, Mr. Weeks says, will be maintained until such time as legislators decide to introduce technology suited for roadside testing for such substances. The fact that there won't be any roadside sobriety checkpoints set up this weekend does not give you a license to drink and drive. If you choose to consume alcohol, then get behind the wheel of a vehicle or perhaps ride your bike home. Bear in mind that there will be police officers on patrol looking out for people who make that stupid decision. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
The Shadow Minister of National Security, Michael Dunkley, says he finds it strange that the government has been quiet on the police commissioner's relocation budget. It's been the object of controversy in recent days following recent media reports. Mike Sharp reports.
The Minister of National Security, Wayne Keynes, has quickly moved to clarify matters. Commissioner Stephen Corbishley and his family are living in a hotel until next month.
I find it curious that the minister and the government have said very little, if anything, about this. And here's why, Mike. We all know that the responsibility for the appointment of a commissioner lies with the governor at Government House. But as a former Minister of National Security, I know full well that issues such as this on national security, the governor would make sure that he kept the government and the Minister of National Security involved and understanding of the decision he would like to make, because there's some impact that the government of the day will have on that. And here we get to the budget situation. I saw in the media release today that a government spokesman, not the minister, a government spokesman said that it was approved in the budget that we debated in the House last February. Well, I don't really recall any detail about the commissioner's relocation budget being discussed at that time. But what I will say is that any government that's up to snuff would have known clearly what the contract was and would have agreed to the contract terms, not only in remuneration, but in salary and any relocation fees.
National Security Minister Wayne Keynes hit back by saying this falls under conditions of service and that efforts to have the new police chief and his family settled are a top priority.
First of all, the conditions of service order allow for any police officer that is an expatriate worker that comes to Bermuda, they are given certain entitlements as it relates to rehousing. This commissioner was no different. But as a matter of administration, all things with reference to the police commissioner's contract of employment were handled by Government House. I looked into this matter earlier this week, and what I can tell you that all of the financial instructions were followed and that they dotted their I's and crossed their T's with reference to getting and looking at getting 3 quotes before the police commissioner and his family moved into the hotel. I think that's not the concern. The concern is that a government, when looking at people in Bermuda that are suffering through housing shortages and struggling to pay their monthly expenses, this seems extravagant, and I agree. This commissioner, though entitled to 3 months of having his rent paid for by the Bermuda government, this to Mr. and Mrs. Bermuda seems exorbitant. I have spoken to the police commissioner. I have asked him if he can move into more cost-effective accommodations by this Friday. To be clear, the numbers that were given in the recent press on the Bermuda Real site, those numbers were incorrect. And so when we're looking at just mischievous, unverified reporting, that is one thing. Clearly there is an issue with getting the fact. And I think not only have I shared this with the police commissioner, I will also share it with the governor with a call later this afternoon.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
We'll have more for you after this short break, including the latest weather forecast and news of a controversial cartoon. Stay with us.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Bermuda. Join us at the Snorkel Park Beach and Bermuda's favorite old school DJs for a fun night of dancing under the stars to the best of old school R&B, house, soul, reggae, soca, calypso, pop, hip-hop, and more. It's Solid Gold Saturdays. The grown-up party, the big people party, dressed smart and sexy with a spectacular DJ lineup. It's Mikey B, Malcolm Lethal Weapon Smith, DJ Iceman, Marky T, Juggling Jason, and yours truly, the Matrix Ninja Cutty. I will be there with special live performances by reggae sensation Mox. Gate open 8 p.m. Admission is free before 10. $10 after. So get there early. Snorkel Park Beach, Solid Gold Saturdays. DJ lineup for September the 15th. Juggling J, Mikey B, Malcolm Lethal Weapon Smith, and Iceman. See you there.
Well, it was meant to be funny and mocking, but it has not gone down well with many people who saw it in today's edition of the Royal Gazette. An editorial cartoon by the paper shows an executioner asking a shackled Minister Wayne Keynes if he wants anything to drink, and the minister asking for milk. The drawing is meant to poke fun at the controversy in which the minister filmed himself asking a London waitress for, quote, titty milk. Commenters on social media sites were quick to condemn it. Some called the cartoon racist for depicting a black man in chains. Others found it to be in very poor taste. Among them, Shadow National Security Minister Michael Dunkley, who wrote on his Facebook, quote, "This is totally inappropriate and unacceptable. Not political satire, not funny. The Royal Gazette must do better." Others, like former PLP Senator Laverne Ferbert, describing the cartoon as offensive. Asked to respond to the criticism, Dexter Smith, the editor of the Royal Gazette, told Bermuda Broadcasting he does not see the executioner character as white. Rather, the person is faceless. Mr. Smith said the image is emblematic only and does not depict Mr. Keynes being put to death, but is political satire. As for the minister in chains, Mr. Smith described it as a recreation of a medieval execution with a satirical play on current events. Turning to weather now, and a largely clear day outside, as we can see from the camera on our broadcast tower. But will it last? Here's our AccuWeather forecast.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
Well, we're glad that you're tuned in to the ZBM broadcast this evening. This forecast is brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. And, life is more manageable for us because of the path of Florence compared to what it could have been had this thing journeyed about 250 miles farther north. We are in okay shape. Big waves continue, especially on the south side of the island. So boating weather is certainly not good. But we're going to begin to see the waves flatten out a little bit as Florence continues to move toward the east coast of the U.S. and a little bit more away from us. We are expecting to see the agitated seas continue, though. We have a lot of things going on in the Atlantic. We have Helene far to the east. We have Tropical Storm Isaac here. That's going to be crossing the Lesser Antilles in the second half of the week. We have another disturbance that may become a subtropical storm way to the northeast. We have another area that could become a tropical depression near the Gulf of Mexico. So it is the peak of hurricane season, and the atmosphere is certainly living up to that. We do see that the very well-defined eye wall here of our Hurricane Florence is continuing to move to the northwest, and it is closing in steadily toward the Carolina coast. But for us, a couple of those cirrus clouds in the sky are associated with our hurricane far to the south and west. Temperatures are down to 84, but the big thing I want to point out, a few days ago, the water temperature was 88. Yesterday, it fell to 84, and today, it's only at 80 degrees, and the big wave action has churned up some of the colder water from deeper down and really subtracted an 8-degree drop in our water temperature. On the inside, we have 2 to 4 foot waves. On the outside, still 5 to 10 footers, mainly 5 feet to the north side, 10 feet to the south side, and those wave sizes are going to begin to diminish a little bit, but there will still be some significant swells radiating outward from the east coast of the U.S., impacting us for days to come. Small craft warning continues through tonight. We do have a high tide at 11:34 tonight. Tide goes back out early tomorrow morning, and then a high noon high tide pretty firmly there right at midday. So tonight, increasing clouds, mainly cirrus clouds in the upper part of the sky for the evening hours. And it'll be a humid time with lows around 78 degrees. Tomorrow, sunshine and still some cirrus clouds, that thin veil of ice crystal type cloud cover way up there. It'll still be a bright time. Sunscreen still in demand tomorrow. Futurecast is going to show the distance between us and Florence will continue to increase as the storm moves farther from us, unfortunately at the expense of the Carolinas in the United States into Thursday evening and into Thursday night, with landfall likely into Friday. Across the Caribbean, we have Hurricane Florence, Hurricane Helene, and Tropical Storm Isaac. Very active time. The biggest impacts to the Caribbean are going to be tied to Isaac tonight, tomorrow, especially tomorrow, into the heart of the Lesser Antilles, maybe near Dominica. As we look at the gateway forecast for the East Coast, a little bit unsettled. Clouds into Boston, not as hot as it had been. London looks okay at 68 degrees. A quick look at the extended forecast. We will have an upper-level low-pressure system drop in from the north. That means colder air overhead, which often helps to promote some scattered showers, periods of rain, maybe even a rumble of thunder Friday evening, Friday night into Saturday. We'll have some spotty showers that linger off and on into Sunday and Monday, but nothing too disruptive, and that's the good news. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day, my son and I joined a speed sliding competition. And as I came down the water slide, I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool. And I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out, and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with the reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
We at Bermuda Transit Services want our visitors to remember actually delivering on what we stand by, and that's a Bermuda for ride. We want the experience that they have been offered to be generally Bermudaful, delivering on our promise of natural beauty, warmth, friendliness, and most of all, hospitality.
One experience I had on tour, I had a very nice group, and I had one disabled gentleman. After helping him up into the bus, I noticed his vet tattoos. After the tour, we had a few minutes to spare, and we went up to Fort Scour. Once we got up there, I showed him the weaponry and cannons and whatnot. And basically, that opened him up to his passion and made his tour more memorable.
Bermuda Transit Services decided to seek certification because we believe that in the industry, especially in the hospitality industry, there must be standards and also such principles like, for instance, welcoming, engaging. We want to believe in delivering, also in terms of accountability, because we believe that we must be accountable to our product, accountable to our customers, and accountable to Bermuda on a whole. I would 100% recommend this.
Welcome back. Beware the motorcycle bandit. That's the stark warning issued today by police who are hunting a male motorcyclist who is pursuing and then demanding money from motorists. The suspect confronts drivers with a bogus story accusing them of colliding with his bike or causing him to crash, and then demands cash for repairs. Some motorists have complied and handed over cash. The suspect is a brown-complexioned Bermudian male of slim build, wearing glasses and a gray helmet, roughly 5 feet 6 inches tall, and in his 50s. He rides a white or light-colored motorcycle. If you have any information, call police on 295-0011. In primary school, students might be gazing longingly out the window after the start of the new school year, but thanks to a donation from the Phoenix stores, they should at least have ample school supplies. Last week, the company gave $43,000 worth of goods to the island's primary schools. Teachers were asked to present a wish list to the Community Action Initiative Support Public Schools, with Phoenix then providing supplies at a discounted price. The items presented to the schools include pens and pencils, art supplies, electronic teaching aids, sports equipment, and books. Still to come, we'll go live to the Hamilton Princess, where Flora Duffy will be one of the guests talking to us about a major new photographic project. Stay with us.
You can count on us.
Save $2 on fresh boneless pork sirloin chops, just $2.99 per pound. Pretty Lady extra large red or white seedless grapes, $3.99 per pound. Only 99 cents for select varieties of 6-ounce Yoplait yogurt. A healthy snack, Lots applesauce, $3.19 for a 6-pack of select varieties. Save more than half price on 4-roll package bathroom 2-ply toilet tissue, only 89 cents. Visit our website, www.marketplace.pm, for more super specials.
You can count on us.
This is Jane. Jane has been living independently until her recent fall. Because of the injury she sustained, her mobility is now limited. Jane chose Bermuda In-Home Care to assist her with her activities of daily living. The caregivers at Bermuda In-Home Care are trained to care for individuals with limited mobility. They incorporate exercise and activities into Jane's care plan given by her doctor and physiotherapist. The caregiver helps the family select the right medical equipment from Lighthouse Medical Supplies. Lighthouse Medical Supplies have certified durable medical equipment specialists available to help. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. Falls lead to head injuries and hip fractures. Fall prevention is critical. Call Bermuda in Home Care to speak to one of our home care specialists. Call us now for a free home care assessment, 705-4424, or visit us at www.bermudainhomecare.com.
World-famous photographer Alistair Morrison has been taking pictures of eminent Bermudians for his latest project. Tonight sees the unveiling of the images at the Hamilton Princess, where they'll become part of a unique work of art. We'll have a full report on the project tomorrow evening, but with the ceremonies at the hotel still underway, we join Ian Rollins.
And thank you, Jasmine. We are live here at the Hamilton Princess Beach Club in the Trudeau Ballroom. As you know, tonight, 14 special Bermudians received an award regarding photos taken by Mr. Alistair Morrison on Bermuda's legacy. At least 14 great Bermudians, names such as Clyde Best, Jim Butterfield, Nicky Saunders, Flora Duffy, just named but a few. But the person that put this all together was the British Airways, and with me to my left is Marianne Wilcox, manager of British Airways. Explain to us what this all entails.
Well, Ian, the project was conceived by British Airways, and we went into partnership with the Hamilton Princess. And really we wanted to photograph notable Bermudians that had left a legacy for the island. And I'm absolutely delighted, being Bermudian myself and being the BA manager here, that British Airways was involved with this. It's absolutely fantastic.
This is the first of its kind ever to put on in Bermuda like this?
This is the first of its kind, and as you can see, there's a lot of people here. It's a great atmosphere. We're celebrating some wonderful Bermudians, and I just can't say enough that it's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to speak to Nicky Saunders and Flora Duffy. I'll start with Flora Duffy first. First of all, congratulations, you're home. Did you ever envision something like this ever happen for you?
No, definitely not, especially not to be part of a legacy project at 30. But it was a very special honor to, receive an email from Alistair explaining his vision and then being part of it and being here tonight to see the final product.
What's it feel to be one of the 14 people that's on a special occasion like this ever happening in Bermuda for the first time?
It's really cool. It's a wonderful thing that British Airways, Hamilton Princess, and Alistair have thought of, and I think it's really bringing the community together, bringing many generations together, and to me it's been wonderful to meet some of the other fellow Bermudians that are in this project here tonight.
2018 has been a great year for you. What's the future holding for you?
Well, I guess the future for me, all the build-up is to 2020, the Olympics, which in my world are not far away. 2 years can go by pretty quickly, and then after that is the 2021 Grand Final held here in Bermuda.
I'm sure you're excited about that.
Yeah, very excited.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thanks.
To my left is Nicky Saunders, who's no stranger to Bermuda, holds the record at high jump in Commonwealth Games, still the record today. How are things with you, sir?
Things are great. I mean, I'm here. I'm home to meet up with family and friends and be a part of this exhibit. So I'm happy, very happy.
You didn't envision anything like this happening when you were coming along as an athlete. Years later, you're being a part of this history.
No, you don't. I mean, as an athlete, you're only there to compete. You're there to bring the best out of yourself. So you don't know what's going to happen, how it's appreciated. And, this is just an appreciation of the hard work that all of us have put in, whether it's sport or otherwise. So, to be one of the recipients is an honor. It is an honor.
You're home. You came in last night. You're home to Saturday. What are you going to do during your time?
Well, while I'm home, I just want to see family and friends. That's what I miss. I now live in London. So to be a part of this and then to come in and have my mom and brothers also be a part of it and then go out and see family and friends, that's what it's all about. I love Bermuda. I love coming home every time. So this was just an added bonus.
Thank you very much. I'm going to speak to Mr. Alistair Morrison, the man behind it. Come forward, sir, if you have a moment.
How are you?
How are you doing, sir?
Very well, thank you.
You were the brain trust behind this. How did you come up with this conception?
Well, actually, it was the British Airways who very much wanted me to conceive a photograph around my legacy photographs. And because my mother was Bermudian and I very much love the island, and I wanted to honor and photograph as many celebrated Bermudians as I could. And it's wonderful to have 12 of our great Bermudians here this evening. Probably a unique moment, I would have thought, all together like that. So.
Behind the scenes, it's a lot of work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work, absolutely. Many photographs, but enjoyed every minute of it. It's my passion, so I absolutely love it. And the piece will be in this wonderful hotel, so it has a great collection of work.
Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Thank you for your time.
Fantastic.
We're here live at Hamilton Princess. We're going to throw it back to Jasmine. Again, it's an honor here at Hamilton Princess. At least 150 people in attendance. To see 14 wonderful people being a part of history being made. I'm Ian Rollins. Have a good evening.
And thank you very much, Ian. Staying with sports, Earl Basin has tonight's sports report.
There were plenty of eyes on them last evening as the World Equestrian Games got underway with their opening ceremony. Marvin Brengman and Annabella Collins will represent Bermuda over the next 12 days, with Brengman carrying the Bermuda flag during the opening ceremony.
Meanwhile, organizers of the World Equestrian Games have implemented strategic and emergency plans for the event should it be affected by extreme weather as a result of Hurricane Florence. With the announcement of the ITU Grand Final being held in Bermuda in 2021, announced by the International Triathlon Union yesterday, some locals have grown concerns about the current makeup of the local organization committee. ZBM Sports can confirm at present the local organizing committee are not at full complement of people to put on the 2019 event. We posed a few questions to the Bermuda Tourism Authority, who have taken full credit for the event, in response to an email regarding the chairman's position, which is currently vacant, as well as other positions. Glenn Jones, the Director of Strategy and Corporate Communications, would only state, quote, the World Triathlon Series Bermuda is led by a local organization committee made up of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, the Bermuda Triathlon Association, the Bermuda government, along with our international race management partners, Absolute. In July 2018, the World Triathlon Series Bermuda advertised a role for the project manager for the 2019 event, and candidates are being reviewed. This would fill the vacancy left by Phil Schmidt, who moved back to Germany. With only 7 months before the 2019 event, it would seem that whomever takes over will have a short time to get up to speed. Bermuda sailors competed in the 7-race Comet International Championship Regatta hosted by the Lake Hopatcong Yacht Club. The regatta was won by Rudy Bailey and his crew, Olivia Eagles, who finished with 16 points after recording 1 win, a second, 3 third-place finishes, and a 4th. Peter Brumby and Mick Finnegan finished 5th with 33 points. Brumby won the 4th race. He also had 4 top 10 finishes. Maxwell Curtis and Stephen Furbett finished 12th with 65 points. They finished with the same amount of points as the 13th place finishers Dale Brengman and Lorenzo Lambert. Curtis and Furbett won the 6th race, while Brengman and Lambert's best finish was a 7th place finish, which came during the 4th race. The Bermuda Professional Golf Association held their weekly medal at the Ocean View Golf Club. Daniel Augustus continued his fine run of form, shooting a 5-under par 65 to top the field. Brian Morris, the Ocean View head professional, used his local course knowledge to finish second and 3 shots behind Augustus with a 2-under par 68. Mid-Ocean professional Chaka De Silva is enjoying his return to competitive golf, finishing 3rd with a 2-over par 72. Dwayne Pearman and Derek Douglas rounded out the top 5 finishers with a 73 and a 76 respectively. A letter addressed to the Bermuda Cricket Board and the media states, due to a number of factors and circumstances, the combined counties have reluctantly decided to forego this year's Champions of Champions competition. In doing so, we are committed to earnestly starting the planning process for next year's competition to ensure that all 3 counties can showcase their respective talents to all for our cricket fans. End quote. Meanwhile, the Bermuda Cricket Board confirmed that the First Division 2020 final will be played this coming Sunday, September 16th at the Seabreeze Oval beginning at 11 a.m. The match will feature Warwick Workmen's and Flats Victoria after both teams won their respective semi-finals. Jada Samuels and Tasnez Fobler's teammates Catherine Hovin and Samantha Griffin both scored hat-tricks to lead the Thomas College women's soccer team to a 8-0 win over Pine Manor at the Smiths Field. In Commercial League bowling action at the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Braves defeat the Spinners 4-0. The Secret Weapons defeated the Sunset 3-1, while the Pin Pushers defeated the 10-Pin Mafia 3-1. We Do It Big defeated BTC 3-1, while Cool Runnings got by the BPS Blue Lanterns 2.5 to 1.5. The match between the Superstars and Sweet Life ended 2-2. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
That's all from us for tonight. I'm Jasmine Patterson and hope to see you again tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a very good evening.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.